games, top of the group. By my reckoning, they'll probably only need a point next Tuesday in Copenhagen. A brilliant night's work for the Blues. And isn't it great? Haaland's come out and has come onto the pitch to applaud the City fans, even though he's been on a watching brief for the second half. It's the only way to stop him, I think. Take him off. Pep did that, only to give him a rest. Southampton, you have been warned. Final score, City 5, Copenhagen 0. 9 points, 3 games, top of the group. But let's go to the studio and let the guys reflect on yet another terrific City display.
Yeah. So there we have it, full time at the Etihad Stadium, another 3 points secured in the Champions League. It finished Manchester City 5, FC Copenhagen 0. 2 more goals we were treated to in the second half, and here to tuck into all of that action is none other than Nedum, Onuoha, Paul Dickov and Shaun Wright-Phillips. Shaun, just another day at the office at the Etihad.
Yeah, you could put it like that, but I think what was great about the team's performance, like Nedum said, some of these games are like traps. We used to say banana skins back in the day where you could slip up on them. I think City put on a professional performance and got the job done, and got it done at a level where it looked like they still wanted to get more, which was nice to see the young lads coming on, doing very well, trying to make things happen. Grealish, again, another excellent performance, just missed out on a few chances of getting a goal on this sheet, and I just thought the all-round performance was amazing.
It was a very complete performance, and as well, Shaun picking up on there, the young lads as well. So great for them to come in. There was a couple of Champions League debuts, I think, as well. But they don't look out of place even when they come into the team. Enrico Lewis is, what, 17?
Yeah, it's great to see, to be honest, and I think I like the way that Pep was sort of bringing them on as well. And ultimately, you know, the game was kind of done, but it's a good test for them to go out there. Can they sort of fit in with what City were doing at that time? And they did. I thought Rico did very well. I thought Josh did very well. I think Cole as well. You know, these are not just like young players. These are good players. They are good players, but they just don't have the experience. So for them, what an opportunity to go out to feel the Champions League. You know, because like I've discovered this recently, and I'm so stupid for thinking this, but like when you're a young player, you're the same as fans because you're just watching football. Then all of a sudden, you are football. And for some of those guys to be watching the Champions League for the years that they've done, and now they're a significant part of it, they could be a part of a journey that takes City to win the whole competition. You know, and then you go down in history because what they've done is something I wish that I did. You know what I mean? Sort of played even a second in the Champions League, and there's so many just like me, just all around all the divisions, playing now and retired. So it's great to see them play. Great to see them play well. It's great to see them play so confidently, where they know what they're supposed to do, they know their jobs. And they're trusted. Every City player is rolling it to them because they know this is the good player to do this too. Yes. And it's like it's magnificent. Like I'm happy, so like I run out of things to say. I prefer being miserable. Hold my hands up.
That's a great point, that though.
Yeah.
What you said about trust. You know, because we've all been there as young kids coming through into the first team, and getting that trust off the first team players is massive. Because believe you me, there's times when first team players look at you to give you the ball. If they don't trust you, they'll turn around and go the other way. Whether that's in training or whether that's in the pitch. And it shows them about standards as well. You know, they come on, it's 3-4-0 up. It's okay coming on these games and doing well, but it's keeping your standards high and letting them know the standards that the senior players have got out there as well. So the whole experience of them getting that tonight is amazing.
It's invaluable, isn't it? If we're looking at these stats here, we'll obviously recap on the highlights of the game, but I mean, is this just total Pep football? I mean, he always says the opponent can't score if they don't have a shot on target. They didn't. You're bossing 73% possession there.
Not necessarily true, but we'll get back to that.
It was, I mean, we had 29 attempts, 15 of them on target. Obviously, I mean, slightly more distance covered by Copenhagen, but we did have a lot of the ball. And once again, I mean, the passing, 792 passes, 93% completion. How can a team stop or even begin to become close to that, really, Paul?
Oh, you can't. It's simple. And it must be, I've said it quite a lot, it must be awful for an opposition manager and an opposition team going to play against this group of players with the manager, regardless of what team that goes out there, because, you know, you can stop 1 or 2 players, but or set a game plan out to do that, but you can't stop the whole team. I mean, you look at that. You know, Nedum said as we were watching the game, Ruben Diaz and Laporte were like 2 midfielders. You know, their average position throughout the game must have been in the attacking half. And teams just can't get out. If they try to defend deep, they can't get out. If they try and keep a high line, we'll play through them. You know, and there's such a variation to how we... I know they say Pep's got one way to play, but that's rubbish.
Yeah.
You know, such a variation in what they can and can't do with the players that they've got.
Let's dig into then the game. If you've just tuned in, maybe you didn't join us at half-time, we'll recap all the 5 goals for you. So, Shaun, we'll begin with that first one again quickly. It didn't take him long, but... Haaland soon added to it.
Right, it took him long to touch. It took him long to get a touch of the ball, but that's just what Haaland does, isn't it? Really. And if you see the play running up to it, the whole time that the ball's out wide, the defender's looking at the ball. He doesn't know where Haaland is. Haaland's seen his number on the back of his shirt and kind of stays in that position. And I think as the ball leaves the player's foot, the defence drops. He kind of takes a step in the other direction, and he strokes it around the defender into the back of net. And like Paul and Nedum said, the technique on it is unbelievable, because trust me, I've skied a few of those on my good foot, let alone my bad foot. So the way that he kept it down just showed his control and quality that he has.
Then, of course, again, up he pops again, but it came from, a shot, it looked like, from Gomez. But again, you were mentioning at half-time, Paul, about that striker's instinct, following the ball in, and he got his reward for it.
He's expecting it to land. He's expecting the goalkeeper to save it and parry it out there, and he's anticipating that to happen as well. And look, he'll score, that sounds ridiculous, 19, he'll score a dozen goals like that this season, because he knows where the ball's going to land. And if it doesn't land there, he'll be there the next time to do it. You know, and we've seen him score wonderful goals already, but as a centre-forward, they're the most pleasing ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
In and around the 6-yard box. But he's just, saying at half-time, it's hard to keep talking about him because we've said everything already.
Yeah.
You know, and coming off at half-time, I know we've gone to the third goal in a minute, but going into the second half, I think it was good to show that we can score goals without in the team as well.
Which we'll come to in a second. Quick question that came in our WhatsApp then, Paul, I'll put to you. Do you think Haaland can break Messi? It came from Fumzail, I think. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. So full of it today. Can Haaland break Messi's record in the future of 91 goals in a calendar year?
I don't see why not. It'd be interesting to know how much he's got this calendar year.
I know, yeah, it's true, actually.
He's got 19 already, and we're only 2 months into the season, I think, isn't it? Yes. You know,
realistically, like, obviously this year's going to be harder because of the break in the World Cup and him having that time off. And, like, in theory, he can 100% do it.
Throughout his career, absolutely.
Yeah, but it's just the fact that we're normalising a conversation about scoring 91 goals in a calendar year. You know what I mean? To have somebody like that on your team, like, it's bonkers. Because, you know, for some people, and this is myself included, I think Messi is like the greatest ever. And we're talking about a 22-year-old possibly breaking one of the things which we should, like, that should just last forever.
Should be hard to do, basically.
When it happened, people are saying that will never, ever get beat.
Exactly.
Nobody's going to ever get close to it.
91 goals in a calendar year.
Didn't score that in my career.
The third goal, which might be also a response to my stat about if they don't have a shot on target, they might not score.
Yes.
There's an own goal.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I was setting that up.
You teed up. That's called a tease, isn't it, in the industry?
There you go. Hello.
Well, I remember there was a game, old school City, this is like our City, and we were playing against West Bromwich Albion, who didn't have a shot on goal, and we lost 1-0 because Richard Dunn scored an own goal in the last minute. So, just for balance.
Again.
Unfortunately,
I remember that.
Yeah. So, and the reason I remember it is I remember Rob Earnshaw breaking his back to try and get it for a tap-in right at the very end, but he didn't quite make it. But yeah, you know, they're unlucky in some ways with the deflections, but as Paul said at half-time, like, you're kind of in that situation, that position, because you know that Haaland's behind you and you feel you can't just let something go. So it's a shame that happened for them, but that's just the nature of the game. And, you know, we looked at the stats before as well. There's a physical element of tiredness that goes into playing against City, but it's the mental side as well. Yeah. Because I think as players, you're good enough to be playing in any game and to have possession. So when you don't have it, for them, they've spent probably 70 minutes without the ball. It must feel like to them.
Yes.
Like, you're not a track club. You're a football club, and you literally want to, like, just touch the ball. But then every time, like, they'd win the ball back, City come and put them under pressure, and they're tired because they physically had to go and sort of take it on.
Yes.
And
exactly. And as we'll see with, I think, the 5th goal, which was the Alvarez one.
Yes.
There's two midfielders trying to run back against Jack Grealish. Like, they were just pressing high. Now they're running back this way. Can't affect it at all. Like, all of a sudden you don't run as fast when mentally you think, well, enough's enough and I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, we kind of really do grind teams down, don't we?
Yeah.
There was people say it a lot, don't they? That say, oh, you work that hard to get the ball back. you're chasing, you're pressing, you work that. Just keep it when you get it. It's not as easy.
No.
Yeah, it's
No
not
way.
them
When you're
people
playing
think.
against teams like this.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, no way.
There was a change at half time. Cole Palmer made way for Haaland. We think the chat straight away was, had he picked up or not? We weren't sure, but he looked all right there at the end.
Yeah,
he was having a jog and
he's
running
fine.
around.
If he can jog, he can
It's
score.
Nedum trying to scare us all in the studio, basically.
Yeah.
Fantasy football. Get him out your team.
Classic.
Get him out your team. You see
Classic.
He would have gone on my subs bench. That's what I would have done.
Pop him there. Double check. Keep an eye on him.
Ruben Diaz made his 100th appearance for Manchester City in his City shirt. A man who made double that figure is Riyad Mahrez, 200 appearances in a City shirt, and capped this off with a goal as well. It was a penalty, Shaun. This was kind of what made it goal number 4.
And an assist.
Clear penalty. Would you say it was a Stonewall penalty?
Yeah, but it's saying it's goal and an assist.
For Mahrez?
Yeah.
Sorry, goal and an
It's
assist
just,
for Mahrez.
you know what I mean? Like, if we can't disregard stuff like that.
You're right.
We're coming on to that in a minute.
Yeah,
that's
thank
what
you,
I
Paul.
thought.
We were actually.
Yeah, you
hasty
thought
again.
wrong though.
Yeah, but
Too
we're
quick.
not.
You know,
Yeah, but
too
we're
quick.
not there. We wasn't there yet.
He's too
Think
quick,
on.
isn't he?
Think
He's
on.
too quick.
Think on. But congratulations to
No,
Riyad
just
Mahrez for his 200 games.
Thank
But you
you.
think on.
You just worry about that higher and lower game that you got for everyone.
Ooh, nobody saw that. That was a different segment of the show.
But first of all, it was a clear penalty.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And, in fairness, Laporte, he gets it. Because sometimes when you go into the box, someone can start grabbing you. You just want to grab them back. But in this instance, he's seen that the defender's in the wrong position. He's grabbing him. He made sure that the referee saw it. So it's kind of like a trick of the trade type thing, because it's not like it's WWE or anything like that.
Yeah.
But he is grabbing
Yes.
it. And then as soon as the ball's on the spot, Mr. 200. You know what I mean?
Straight up.
It's just going to send that over there. Happy days, huh?
Beautiful, happy days indeed. And then for one more, and I think thoroughly deserved, and we can probably focus on his performance a bit, Shaun. Julian Alvarez got a well-deserved goal with the assist from Riyad Mahrez.
Yeah, he does what we all expected him to do: work hard, causes problem, got in and around people. But he's also good on the ball, setting up plays, creating chances, and even creating some for himself. And I think the play from way back down from Wilson and Jack, and then Jack gets turned and he just drives what, in a way, we've all been waiting for and excited to see, especially in a blue shirt. And he goes past 2 people, and the pass that he puts on, the weight on it is fabulous, to the point where the defender actually believes mentally in his head he can get there, and then he realises he's on a fishing rod. And then Mahrez obviously takes it across. As you know, with Mahrez, his first touch is normally always excellent. Yeah. And then he just plays that cute outside of the ball across the box with that side of his boot, and Alvarez is obviously there to tap it in.
And we've had a few tweets around Alvarez as well coming in. Marty on Twitter is absolutely loving it. Love the work from Grealish as well. Also, we had someone mentioning about his work rate, and we were speaking about that. Hey, he'll give Bernardo Silva a run for her money with how much he runs, Paul.
Yeah, but it's infectious though, isn't it? If you've got somebody like that in your team, it rubs off on everybody else. And delighted from. I wasn't delighted Erling Haaland came off, but delighted for him because he's came here as a number 9. I know he's played wide and he's played as a 10 sort of for us as well. Not just him playing as the 9 second half, but to get his goal, playing that position as well. He completely deserved it because his all-round work rate, his game, left foot, the ball's coming into him, little one-touch layoffs, he spins, he's always on the
move. Yeah.
And players like that are a dream to play with because you know what you're going to get for them. And he's got so much quality that goes with it as well.
Yeah.
Another man we've mentioned quite a lot tonight was involved in a lot of the build-up as well. Special word for Jack Grealish, because again on Twitter here there's been so much love for him and people really enjoying. A lot of people saying he's settled, and Sankul Pandey on Twitter says Jack Grealish is settled, saying loving Jack Grealish. He is going ham for the past 2 games. That's Haaland SZN on Twitter. Grealish has been brilliant today. Grealish is so good, man, from Stu Joycey. A lot of love and thoroughly deserved, although he just didn't get that goal he was pushing for.
Yeah, so he didn't get the goal, didn't get the assist. Obviously tomorrow he's overpriced, you know what I mean? It's a bad signing for the club. That's the way it works, isn't it? That's the way it goes. But as is the case normally, like, the people who've got the best sort of steer on the City players are the ones who watch them all the time, who are the City fans. But from the outside, people want to look at like 2-minute highlights and look at clips of someone saying someone should be doing better for £100 million. The reality of the situation is Jack Grealish is a very good player. He's settling in and he's had a big impact on his team. And I think ultimately that's why he plays week in, week out.
Yeah. I would go as far as saying, I know Erling's goals and everything else, the last 3 games that he started, the Wolves game, United, And again tonight, he's been our best player.
Yeah.
I'm in with that as well. I'm
it's echoed. I can tell you won man of the match as well tonight, Jack Grealish. Yeah, he got man of the match. And I think as well, I wanted to highlight him because he's come in and he was involved in 2 of the goals in the first half. Then Pep's gone, all right, then now you're going to go into centre midfield. I mean, he's a left back, but young Sergio Gomez as well. I mean, Paul.
Well, we tend to turn midfielders into left backs, don't we? So
Yeah.
We did it the reverse. I was going to say that.
But again, settled right into the team, and I think it was Alistair Mann saying he might make a late push to join the Spain squad in the World Cup because, I mean, he looks so comfortable on the ball.
Hell, if he's going to be playing in this Man City team regular, he's got a great shot at getting called up. You know, he's playing in one of the best teams in the world. I think we said at half-time, or before, I think it was at half-time, that the biggest thing you can see is how well he's settled. You know, he's obviously Spanish under-21. He's been to Germany with Dortmund, I think, and obviously Anderlecht. So he's moved around a bit for a young kid, and then to come to a club the size of Man City with the players that are in there, but to come into the team and play the way he has done already, you know, he looks as if he's been here for a long time.
Yeah. And what about the technique on those volleys, Shaun? I mean, he gave it a go. One of them that last one as well, nearly went in.
He hit it well. I'm not sure which part of the foot it came off, but the technique
was hated.
The technique was fantastic.
He's all right. He's off again. Hated.
The technique was great, and the first one as well. I thought was harder. Where the keeper saves it, I think the technique on that was great as well. But for people to try that, you have to be confident in that place. I can see Chief in there giving it, as he always does. But he was the one, he forgets he was the one that actually highlighted that fact.
Is it on air? Was it recorded?
You might.
Never happened. Never happened.
Right, gents, so there we are. That is 5-0. Another 3 points in the Champions League group stage. And now, before we have a quick look to the weekend against Southampton, which will be with you, of course, for that, we've been playing a game of what happened next. It was our very own Nicholas Jensen. We've had so many guesses on WhatsApp, so thank you for getting involved in that. So this is how it's worked. We've got a clip, and this clip is taken from this game. We've got Nelka on the right-hand side, steaming down. Lovely little step over here in a sec. See you later. Lifts the ball in, and we're asking you to tell us what happened next. We give you 4 guesses, loads on WhatsApp. I can tell you the majority were correct, but we had a whole host of wrong guesses. Where are we thinking in the studio?
B.
I can't go against the senior pro. It has to be. If I want to come back, let's stick with him.
We've gone for B in the studio. So if you've said, if you said B at home, that's what we were thinking here in the studio. Let's find out what did happen next.
Questioning myself now.
I was thinking C. But no, that's just. Yes, please. Stop it.
Obviously, it was. I just hit it perfectly. Obviously, a good cross, and in those situations, you don't really think much. You just try and focus on hitting the ball as clean as possible, and it was a good strike. But yeah, in my career, my left foot was one of my best weapons. My right foot was very close to numb, so my left foot was very important for me. Most of my goals in my career was free kicks, etc., and the assist also from like set pieces, corners, free kicks from the side, etc. So I was always quite confident with my left foot. So that was maybe, of course, why I even tried the volley there. And luckily for me, it was a goal. So I enjoy remembering that goal.
I mean, that's something. I mean, you were saying as well, but it's the weight of the pass there.
Yeah, the weight on the pass, it drops, because normally when the ball comes across like it stays high for quite long, so you normally either have to wait for it to come down or take it high, whereas it drops straight in his stride pretty much.
Yeah, I mean,
you just can hit across it.
Phenomenal, and so great to hear from Nicholas. Thank you for his time as well. I can reveal that unanimously, the majority of people who sent in guesses, you got it right. I mean, it was B here in the studio, was it? Am I right? B for Bravo, did we say?
Yeah.
B
for Belton, yeah.
It was D. It was the bottom right corner. Bottom right-hand corner.
Didn't look like it hit the bottom right.
No. What?
It's contentious here in the studio.
It didn't look like it hit the bottom right.
Producer Darryl, listen.
You got a different clip?
Listen, I was kidding. Listen to speak to producer Darryl.
I will be speaking to producer Darryl.
We're going to have a look here. Look. Watch where it hits the net, producer Darryl's saying.
From the angle where he throws it, it was in B.
Bottom right.
It was in B. There was nothing. There was nothing there.
Listen, speak to the staff. Don't speak to me.
Somebody's out working. You know who you are, Darryl. Yeah, coming back.
Gents, so next on the agenda, we've got some big fixtures on the way. We've got Southampton, then Copenhagen away, and then, of course, big one at Anfield the following week. But focus turns to Southampton. We're, of course, going to be here. Are you going to see some? We're going to see some changes, do you think, Paul?
Yeah, I think there will be. I think with the luxury of leaving Phil, Kevin De Bruyne, Akanji, Rodri on the bench tonight, you know, and with all the games that's coming up, away to Copenhagen and Liverpool the following week, I expect to see 4 or 5 changes at the weekend. But the great thing about this team, no matter how many changes it seems to make, that it doesn't affect the performance.
And I wondered, you know, we know Southampton, they've had a change in the kind of policy in a way. They've signed a lot of young players, a few of them being young City players. One, how's it going to be for the young players coming up against City? And then obviously it'd be interesting for us to get a look at some of our boys out on loan. Lavia being one, of course, we've got Bazunu, the keeper as well. Not loan, but option to buy, yeah, sorry.
I think it'll be a very exciting occasion for them to go and test themselves against the City players, because, you know, I'm sure for them when they left, they probably didn't really want to leave. They'd rather have stayed and played. But the reality is you need to go and find somewhere to play football.
Probably would have felt that they deserved a chance here as well.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the way it works as a player, isn't it? So it should be a great test for them. I'm sure they'll be motivated beyond belief. But if City play anywhere near their best, then it's going to be one of the longest days of their life.
Yeah.
And with all due respect to them, I'm sure they're great people. I hope it's one of the longest days of their life.
How have you made of Southampton, Shaun, so far this season? It's kind of been a bit up and down for them. They've had a few wins. They've also struggled slightly. I mean,
but that's what I think you get with a group of young players. You're not always going to get that continued consistency. I think you saw it amongst the Arsenal squad when Arteta first took over, and most teams that start when you're fielding nearly 11 young players, that you're going to get that inconsistency. But the one thing you know you're going to get from them is a lot of energy. They might not have the rest of it, but they're always going to run around. And in that team, the players that they've taken from City, there's a lot of qualities there. So, like Chief said, as long as City play how we know they can, they won't have a problem. But if they do give them a sniff and let them go in confidence, it could become a difficult game.
And those young players as well, you definitely know they'll have the bit between the teeth trying to just show them what they're about, having probably trained with them for most of last season.
Absolutely. They don't want to let Pep know. They want to let their ex-teammates know as well. But I think Southampton came and done a job in his last season. 0-0, was it?
Yeah.
At the Etihad. So, you know, they can come here and get a result. It'll be a difficult game, as it always is, but the big man's right, as always. You know, if City play, like every game, as well as they can, we'll win the game.
Yeah, absolutely, gents, absolute pleasure. And beyond that, then, will this have any bearing on what happens in the away fixture, do you think? I mean, it might have there. Can you see it playing out the same way here, or a bit slightly more tricky? Yeah.
Copenhagen with a new manager, we'll see what their results like on the weekend, and it might dictate the approach that they have for that game. Because for them, you know, they'll want to go out and try and win, but they might have other priorities at that point. But I think for City, like the rotation, we're talking about them making changes for the weekend, and Kevin De Bruyne's coming back in, Phil Foden's coming back in. Like, that's a genuine privileged position to be in.
Yeah.
So even if they ended up rotating people out again for the midweek, we'll see the team that we just saw beat Copenhagen 5-0. And one thing I saw before the game, when I looked through the squad, and we were talking about complacency, I couldn't point at anybody within that 11 who might even be the slightest bit complacent.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. So realistically, whatever team City put out, whether it's youngsters, senior pros, whatever, like, they're a fantastic side, and they're going to be very, very well driven to win the game.
Absolutely. Well, gents, just before we wrap up, we can now hear from one of our goal scorers tonight, making his 200th appearance, also alongside the goal, an assist. Riyad Mahrez is giving us his post-match thoughts here.
Riyad, many congratulations on the win. What are your thoughts on tonight's performance?
I think it was a good game. Start very good, score goals, 2 goals I think in first 10-15 minutes. So we made it more comfortable for us. And it was a good game, yeah.
3 wins out of 3 now in Group G. We couldn't ask for any more at the halfway stage, could we?
No, it's a very good start. Next week we play there. It's going to be, I think, more difficult than today. But we have to try to get the 3 points and to be qualified for the next round.
And a really special night for yourself as well, your 200th appearance for City, and what a great way to celebrate with the penalty as well.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Always good to score or assist. for the team, to help the team to win. But I think didn't play much recently, but I feel better and coming back to my real level.
And it's a special landmark. I mean, how do you reflect on that? There's a lot for you and the club to be proud of.
Yeah, to be fair, 200 games is a lot, to be fair. Yeah, it's good. You know, I wish for another 200 to play and then keep going, scoring, assisting, or winning title with these teams, with this team, because at the end that's what we play for, and we are very happy, and I'm very happy to be part of this team. Yeah.
And given the way we're playing, Riyad, there could be many more special moments to come, hopefully.
Of course, I hope so.
And can I just ask you about Erling Haaland as well? I mean, you've played with many fantastic strikers, but where does he stand?
He's a very good striker, to be fair. Well, the number speaks for him. Different than the strikers we had at the past. Score a lot of goals, to be fair, and surprised me, surprised us. The way is always there, to finish and to push the ball in the net, and that's very good for us.
And finally, another really big game for us on Saturday at home to Southampton, and now the focus switches right back to the Premier League.
Yeah, a very good game to play at home and to try to get the 3 points.
Many thanks for your time and congratulations again. Thanks, Riyad.
So there we are, Riyad Mahrez, a goal scorer and assist maker in tonight's game, giving his thoughts there at full time. It finished Manchester City 5, Copenhagen 0. That is about it from us on Match Day Live, but don't worry, we'll be back with you an hour before the game as we take on Southampton on Saturday, and we're going to be with you throughout the season. I want to say a massive thank you and all the love to my 3 brilliant guests I've loved tonight: Nedum, Onuoha, Paul Dickov and Shaun Wright-Phillips. I have to say, honestly, were you saying, did we ever think we'd be watching City look so comfortable in the Champions League 5 to 10 years ago? Probably not. Did I think I'd be sat here with 3 of some of my favourite players, watching the game with them and doing a show with them? Not at all. So literally living the dream. So gents, thank you. And thank you to all of you for watching as well. Now we're going to leave you with a little tease, because we have a fantasy Premier League show that is brought to you. Nedum, you make a regular appearance on that, don't you?
Yeah.
We'll see you on there. FG takes hold of that as well, so you can catch that on Fridays. We'll leave you with a little trailer. I just want to make a special announcement, because City, of course, celebrating Black History Month. I put up some very special content, a new series that's going to be playing out throughout the whole of October, and this is all centred around the connection between Manchester City and Moss Side. It's called Moss Side Main Road. It's over on the City app, and it's well worth the watch. And keep your eyes peeled for loads more content, of course, celebrating this all-important month to make sure we all learn and grow and push forward as a society. Gents, thank you again. Man City, 5-0 winners. We go on. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. Good night.